What's good, Plum Borough? I'm Drew Bartow.
I'm Mike Devine.
And together we are Sour Plums. We aim to entertain and educate more than 3 Plum residents by debating some of the trending topics in the borough, from school board and council happenings to business openings, conspiracy theories, and everything in between. Welcome to the Sour Plums podcast, friends. We're gonna get started with some opening banter here, and as has become the custom, I got wrecked after last episode online by some Plum folks, quite a few. Mainly for my takes on Lord of the Rings, which I've found that a lot of people in Plum love, including Mike and Alan, who remind me of, is it Frodo? Yeah. Well, I'd rather eat at one sitting 10 pounds of Froyo than watch 10 hours of Frodo. Like you guys have recommended.
It's only 9.
It's only 9?
Only 9.
Why do you guys like it so much? What's so good about it?
It's a journey where good beats evil. How can you not like it?
I'm a fan of evil. A little bit of a fan.
There's a lot of evil in it, and they do win for a while, but like everything else, the good prevails.
All right, that's fair. Still not going to watch it, but I do appreciate your perspective on it, as I do appreciate the perspective of a lot of our listeners who love it as well. Another thing that happened last week was, well, there was a poll on our page about the pronunciation of often, or as I say it correctly, often, and I've been very disappointed in Plum, my Plum neighbors, quite a few times. This ranks up there. Because what I don't like about the reasoning behind Merriam-Webster's updates to words and how we pronounce them is that as long as society pronounces it wrong long enough, the dictionary's like, yeah, you know what? That's probably right. It's fine. And we change it and we allow it. I think that's wrong. There's got to be a standard for some things. I get evolution. I get that language evolves. But to me, it's devolving when we do things like that. What do you think, Mike?
I don't know. I could go either way on this. I think that exactly what you said there. Languages evolve, and they evolve, and I mean it's like the English "you," right? And words that I can't think of right now for an example, but like color, right? The "you" went away in color, and that's more of a spelling, but that's how the language evolves. I mean, we're still a pretty young country in comparison to the rest of the world. Right, so we have to make our mark somehow.
We are
as dumb as we may be. We're going to make our mark,
and we prove over and over again that we are capable of being very dumb. All right, speaking of dumb, it could get dumb if we get on the show long enough. What are you drinking tonight, Mike?
I have a glass of Maker's 101. So it's a special batch Maker's Mark. Again, it's bourbon. It's my drink. I love it.
So not taking the night off tonight.
Not taking the night off tonight.
All right, I'm as per usual, I'm drinking an IPA. This one's called Neon Mermaid from Vellum, another Pittsburgh-based brewery. So it's a good one. It's a light one. It's only a 6%er. That's low for me, but it's a good one. It's only my second tonight, so we're in good shape
for now.
I'm drinking Bird Dog.
Okay.
With my whiskey Stone.
Let's hear it. Shake it for us. There we go.
Love it. It's just one stone. It's not really that satisfying. It's not really making it that cold, so it's kind of like a warm whiskey, but I'm just rolling with the punches this weekend.
Nice.
Before we move on, I heard some secrets about Big Cat here.
Whoa,
secrets.
Do tell.
I heard you're quite the dancer.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple more Bird Dogs, I'll be dancing.
Maybe we'll have a special, maybe an OnlyFans special, watching Big Cat dance.
One night with Big Cat.
Where'd you hear this, Mike?
From his spouse, from Carly.
Really? He's a dancer. All right.
If anyone's seen my top tier moves, it's my wife. She knows what I'm working with.
All right. Before we get too far into the episode, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Tresco Concrete, Continental Comb, and the Jen Mesco Real Estate Team. Continental Comb Barbershop, a traditional barbershop servicing the area since 1973. Up to date on all the new styles and cuts. Call 412-795-7555 and mention Sour Plums for $5 off any service.
Tresco Concrete. The best concrete products on the market. Ready-mix concrete delivered to your door, guaranteed to get hard or your money back. And as always, their concrete is all natural, no supplements, and always 100% Viagra free.
The Jen Mascaro team proudly supports the Sour Plums podcast. When it comes to selling your home promptly and at peak value, look no further than the expertise of the Jen Mascaro team. With over a decade of industry experience, we guarantee to guide you seamlessly through the process. For personalized assistance, contact us at 412-607-6318 or email jen.mascaro@cbrealty.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Jump into Plum Problems. Only have 2 this week, but this one came to us from one of our listeners, our devout listeners who has not missed an episode yet, not Jimmy McBride, but another one. And he wanted us to talk about this. How early is too early to cut your grass in the morning?
Now, are we talking weekdays? We talking weekends? We talking just any old day?
I think both. So I agree right off the bat. There's a different time that's too early on the weekdays versus the weekend. Also, it's changed since COVID because more people work from home now. So I know like the days I work from home, I sleep a little bit later.
Okay.
So I would say pre-COVID, 7 a.m. was the earliest you could cut your grass on the weekday.
Okay.
And then 9 a.m. on the weekend. Post-COVID, now with people working from home, maybe sleeping a little bit longer, I think weekend stays at 9, weekday not earlier than 8. It moves up an hour.
Wow, we don't even have an argument here, Mike. Those are the exact time frames that I was going to say. I think it's a weekday. You're right. 8 a.m. is good. Your point was, I didn't have a valid point. Like you had a reason behind it. You had logic. It's always welcome on this show. We don't have a lot of it, but when we do, it's good. Yeah, I think 8 a.m. on a weekday, 9 a.m. on a weekend. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if people didn't mow their lawns at 9 a.m. on the weekend. On that rare occasion that families like ours get to actually sleep in and aren't chasing kids around at 7:30 a.m. for sports. But, I do think that's 9 a.m. is sufficient.
Right. Now I think too, if I have a weekend where I'm not doing anything early and I'm asleep at 9 o'clock and you fire your lawnmower up, doesn't mean I'm not going to get mad because there's very few weekends I get to sleep past 7, let alone 9. But if I'm sleeping and you start cutting your grass, I will be pretty pissed. But pre-kids, Jess and I, we would sleep till 10, 11 o'clock, and there was no time that was early, like too early to cut your grass. Like it was all too early. Now, I will say, if you have to cut your grass for a good reason earlier than those times, be a good guy. Let your neighbors know, hey, heads up, I have an all-day baseball tournament. I have to cut my grass tomorrow. It's the only time I'm going to have. It's going to be like 7:30. I know it's the weekend, but I need to hammer it out, get it done. Doesn't mean I'm going to like it, but at least be a decent person about it.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, we need a tiebreaker here because we actually agree on something for once.
I have a lot of different opinions about this. To keep it short, though, I think on the weekdays, I think 9 or 10 is appropriate. Why are you are you trying to beat the heat? I understand you're out there early, but you're also just working in your backyard. If you're that hot in the afternoon, go take a break. Why are you getting up at 7 a.m. to cut your grass? I think it's too early.
Weekend or weekday?
I think weekday should be 10.
Weekday? No, wow.
I got to work. I can't just cut the grass at 10 o'clock in the middle of a meeting.
So cut it in the afternoon. Why do you have to do it so early in the morning?
I have a meeting. I'm an important guy. I have meetings a lot.
Mike's never have time you never have time afternoon to cut your grass.
No, my evenings are worse than my workday. I look forward to the workday because that's like when I get to relax.
If it's a landscaping company, I understand if they have to get early to get all their jobs done. But if you're doing it yourself and you're out there before 9 a.m.
Mike's not lying though. His work days when he's relaxing, I get the number of texts, the volume of texts I get from him during the workday far exceeds what I get during the evening when he's running around with his kids.
So, Drew, the good news here is you agree with me, so you're probably not going to get beat up this week.
That's nice.
I think they're coming for Big Cat now this week.
Big Cat. That's too late. Yeah. I will say this.
No, they're gonna love 10 o'clock. It's like a brunch cut.
The mornings didn't bother me as much, Mike, as when I had young children and bedtime was happening. And, at that point, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night, maybe somebody was mowing their grass, but maybe like Harley Knievel across the street was firing up his motorcycle. And just that was worst for me because my kids didn't sleep past 6 a.m. anyway, so I wasn't too worried about that. It was getting them to bed. That was worse for me than the morning time.
Yeah.
Did you say that was worst for you?
Did I say?
Did you get him on a grammar hammer?
There's no way I said that's worst. There's no way.
Let's listen to that back.
We can, and great thing is I have executive power to edit that out when you said it.
Let's listen to that back. Did Drew say score. Worst with a T?
I'm keeping score right now. Alan's winning. He has one.
The worst time. I think I said that and it blurred. The worst time. Come on, guys. Guys, I'm pretty perfect. Come on. All right. What's next, Mike?
All right. So moving on. This is not really a plum problem. This is not really a problem at all. But this was a debate maybe 2 years ago, and I just saw it on TikTok this week, and I was like, well, this is a good place to bring it up. So we're going to debate here 100-meter dash race, and you have to eat a hot dog before you run. Usain Bolt in his prime versus Joey Chestnut in his prime, which right now I think is his prime. And I know we disagree on this, so this is where you're going to get beat up this week. But who wins?
First of all, saying Joey Chestnut in his prime is laughable to me. What's the prime for eating hot dogs?
He's a finely tuned athlete.
There's a prime. I got to be honest, Mike. I ruined your entire segment because prior to this, I did some research. First of all, on the 100-meter, what an Olympic athlete runs it in, like Usain Bolt, which is 12 seconds, 11 seconds, somewhere around there. Somebody like me could even run it in 20, right? So that's not that big of a gap. And then I said, let's see how fast I can eat a hot dog. And I tested it, and I took one bite, and I realized this is going to take me forever comparatively. So I had this come to Jesus moment tonight, Mike, where I said, shit, Mike's going to win this argument. I can't let him have it. I got to go first. But tell me why. What's your rationale?
No, my rationale is Joey Chestnut runs faster than Usain Bolt eats a hot dog. Like comparatively, yeah, the gap is smaller. Like he before Usain Bolt is done with his first bite of hot dog, Joey Chestnut's done and halfway done with his 100-meter race. There's no question in my mind. He smokes him.
When you posed this to me, I didn't believe that for a second. How hard is it to eat a hot dog? How quick, And then I realized 100 meters isn't that far. So the average man isn't taking forever to run that. So I kind of did the math a little backwards, and I realized that after I took that first bite of a hot dog, realizing there's no way Usain Bolt can do that. And man, was I going to be really wrong about this. And initially, I think a lot of people do think that too, though. It's easy to eat a hot dog. How quick is it? Or they don't really know how quick 100 meters is, right? And so they think, oh, it's going to be 30 seconds, 45 seconds. It's not. It's 10 seconds or less.
100 meters is one straightaway on the track.
Yeah.
Like a standard track. Big Cat, I know you were on the other side too. Like, have you changed your mind, or are you still wrong?
I don't know what I said before, but this is what I feel now. If Usain Bolt can eat a hot dog in 4 or 5 bites, he's catching Chestnut and beating him in the 100-meter.
Well, let's ask this question. How far into the 100-meter does Joey Chestnut have to get to where he's not catchable? It has to be over halfway, I think. Right? So we're talking, if he can run that 50 meters.
Well, how much of a head start do they give in that baseball stadium where they run the freeze? Is that Atlanta?
Yeah.
Where they give it's a 200-meter race, and they give the contestant like a head start, like a 100-meter head start, and the track star catches up with them and like blows by them. Because when you get that far,
that's more stamina though, because that's 200 meters is a lot. Like you can run 100 meters and not be out of breath. Not me, but a normal person.
I think even the short, the breathing is a part of it. And I just don't think Joey, after slamming a wiener that fast, is going to be able to run faster than Bolt can catch up with him. We need to make it happen.
Finely tuned athlete.
We should recreate this with maybe Mike Devine and Drew Bartow.
Why can't Usain Bolt eat a hot dog fast? Why is that not possible? How long does it take to eat a hot dog?
Joey,
like
a hot dog in 2 seconds.
Okay, so
That's wild.
how fast? Like Usain Bolt doesn't have to sit there and eat it. He can like jam it and like dip the bread and the whole thing. He doesn't have to. He can eat it like Joey eats it, right? Or does he have to like sit down?
Like, is he allowed? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's allowed to, but can he physically? No.
No way. No way. He's not
How
trained to
fast
do
can
that.
you eat a hot dog?
I can eat a
Amateur.
hot dog pretty fast, and I'm thinking at least 15 to 20 seconds.
Because if you separate the dog and the bun, I can probably swallow the dog in like 3 bites, just bite and swallow. And then bun, just wet bun. I'm saying I can eat a hot dog and bun in like 5 seconds.
No way.
No
way.
No.
Alan, that is a challenge. That's going to be on the Facebook page.
I think so.
There's
So I have
no
to eat
way.
if I have to eat the dog and the bun together, it would take a little more time. Separate the two.
You can do it however you like. You can cut up the little pieces if you want to, Alan. There's no way.
I'm swallowing those whole. I'll swallow a mouthful of hot dog whole.
On the show at some
I
point.
used to swallow macaroni and cheese whole, just like mouthfuls.
It's a
when I was
noodle.
little.
That's easier than.
But it's a lump of cheese and okay. I used to also bite and swallow hot dogs. Like I've won a hot dog eating contest before. Like a one hot dog, eat it as fast as you can.
I might take the rest of the show off, Mike, because
Yeah.
I think Alan's going to get roasted for this. So I'm
Yeah.
happy with that.
Yeah, I'm a really fast eater. Like just in general, I eat really fast, and if I put my mind to it, I could eat a hot dog. But that 5
See
seconds.
now everyone's starting to get a little confident because I stepped up. Because I stepped up and put myself out there.
5 seconds. That's
How long would it take you to eat a hot dog? You spend some time with it, don't you?
I like to.
You take your time.
I'd like to take it out for coffee first. You know?
Don't point getting roasted at me. It's going to come back at you 10 times.
It would take me at least, personally, at least 25 to 30 seconds to eat a hot dog. I really think that.
and that's rushing through it.
That's Russian. That's not my average hot dog pace. Come on, guys.
So in my prime, I did when I won a volume cheeseburger, like junior bacon cheeseburgers from Wendy's at Penn State.
I do believe it.
Volume contest, not a speed contest. I could eat things fast. Actually, I crushed my kids in fruit by the foot. We raced, no hands. Eat a fruit by the foot.
Yeah.
I crush them.
I feel like we're the closest thing. You're the closest thing we have to Joey Chestnut on this show.
Oh, I'm not the athlete he is.
Athlete.
All right, well let's put that to rest in talking about athletes. Drew, tell us what's good in the hood.
Mike, the amazing guests keep piling up for us on Good in the Hood. R.J. Umberger played 11 seasons in the National Hockey League, scoring 180 goals over his career with the Philadelphia Flyers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. His hockey journey started right here in Plum, and he continues to support our community behind the scenes. We wanted to catch up with R.J. to see what life is like for him post-NHL and to get some insight from him for our youth athletes on what it takes to reach the highest level of your craft. R.J., thank you for joining Sour Plums.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Before we get into hard-hitting questions, Mike has something really hard for you here.
Yeah, so we were just debating the Usain Bolt versus Joey Chestnut, eat a hot dog, run 100 meters. As one athlete comparing to two other athletes, who do you think wins?
That's tough. It's hard to go against either one there. Two of the greatest of all time. But I'll probably go with Chestnut. He just seems like he can do it all. And never want to bet against that guy.
There you go. Alan, you're wrong.
Whatever. Shout out Usain Bolt.
Well, RJ, I want to get into the meat of the conversation here and talk about your involvement in the Plum community and kind of your journey from Plum to the NHL and beyond. So the Plum community knows your name, but not everyone knows kind of how you got from Plum to playing in the NHL. Can you share some background on your hockey days in Plum and what you accomplished here before you left to pursue your dreams of going pro?
Yeah, so I started playing hockey when I was like 7 years old. Kind of late in the realm of things nowadays with comparing it with Canadian kids and whatnot. But I played in the local associations in town, and by the time I got to about 10 years old, I started playing travel hockey, AAA hockey, and that was the Pittsburgh Amateur Penguin Association, and we would spend our weekends in Buffalo and Canada and all over, United States traveling. And, my parents were saints to one, afford it and find ways to allow me to play, but also to travel and take me everywhere every weekend. So, I owe a lot to them for all their dedication and sacrifice for me. And, the travel led to moving to another organization called the Pittsburgh Hornets. We played in the top travel program in the United States. At that time, it was called the Michigan National League. And, played there for about 3-4 years. And then at the same time, in Pittsburgh, you're allowed to play both club hockey, so travel hockey and high school hockey. I started playing with JV for Plum at 7th grade. Had Mike McIntyre as a coach there at Plum. Great time, great experience, and enjoyed the high school aspect of hockey, and kept playing into high school while I was playing travel hockey at the same time. So I was on the ice about every day of the week, pretty much. Some nights going from practice to practice, or practice to a game, or driving from Buffalo just to make a game for high school on the weekend. So yeah, as I did that travel for a few years there in high school, and played varsity at the same time, 9th and 10th grade, and from that point on, moved on to a junior program from after my sophomore year of high school.
RJ, when you think back, Drew and I are both parents of young athletes, as are you. Who did it become apparent to first, your parents or you, that you might have a shot to get to the NHL?
Well, I think probably honestly myself and my father around the same time. It was always a dream of mine since I was little. My dad always supported my dreams, and I played at the highest level possible at every age. So just kept going at it, and I think realistically, as I got older, it was, let's see if I can get a Division I scholarship. That was a big goal of mine. I made that decision around probably like 14, 15 that I wanted to go to college. That was important to me. I didn't want to go the major junior Canadian route, the OHL route, because of the education. I wanted to go to college, and my parents both didn't go to college. I didn't get a degree, so it was something that to me felt very important to do. So I made that decision, and it got to the point where when I was in high school, about after my sophomore year, when I moved on to the junior program of the Michigan National, or the U.S. National program, that program right there. Once I got there, it became real that there's a shot to move on and play in the NHL someday. The program was new. It was the second year when I got there, but from the year before, the players that had left, pretty much everyone was drafted in the NHL, or at some point, or sorry, that they were getting scholarships and to college, and then were becoming NHL prospects. So it just became really real from the moment that I accepted to go play the U.S. national program, and that's kind of when we figured it out.
You mentioned, RJ, about getting from games to game or practice to practice all on the same day. We have a lot of youth listeners to this podcast, probably more than we should, but a lot of them are athletes, and I kind of want to get a feel from you and your perspective, and kind of some insight from you on what does it take, whether they're going to go pro or just go play college, which is still takes a lot, right? What kind of training and practice schedule can they expect to really reach that level? I mean, this isn't like a part-time gig where you go to practice 2 days a week and you become a pro or go play D1 college sports, right? You work at this pretty much every day. Isn't that right?
Yeah, and as I got older at the higher levels, I mean, it does become a job, and it's you have set things that you have to do, and you're just always trying to get the upper edge and try to get better and better. So it gets intensified to a whole new thing. But when I was young, really, I just loved it so much. I loved the game. I love sports. All my time and energy went into sports at all moments. Whether I was hanging out with friends playing sports, or if I was, at home, it was, grabbing my dad, like, hey, let's do this. Or, if nobody was around, I was doing it by myself. And, just always constantly doing stuff and constantly having a stick in my hands and doing those things as a kid, it just constantly, built athletic ability. It just constantly, made me a better player overall. Even like baseball, my dad would get home from work and I'd grab him, like, let's go down to the baseball field. So we'd wait for the first baseball game, the lights to go, or the game to end. And he'd hit me ground balls every night until it went dark. And that's what I did because I loved it. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't work, or it wasn't like I just loved it, right? I love playing any sport. And, hockey just became so important to me that I sacrificed, and sacrifice just is something you need to be willing to do, right? Like I missed school dances, and I missed times hanging out with the friends and things like that because I wanted to play in that important tournament, or I wanted to go to practices, or I wanted to, get some training with a skill coach or a skating coach. Those type of things where it wasn't someone telling me to do it, it was me wanting to do it all the time. And I think that's the difference, like now with kids, how hard do you push kids and all those types of things. And I think the conversation always needs to be driven by the athlete themselves, right? They have to be ones willing to do it. A lot of these sports are becoming year round, which is absolutely insane. And I think for me, a big part of becoming a good hockey player or good whatever was playing all different sports and playing different sports throughout the year. And I think they make you a well-rounded athlete, and they'll help you keep from getting fatigue and injury and all those different things. And so, I mean, it's a tough question. I think these kids, I see a lot of kids now. I know my own kids, they're distracted by so many different things,
Yeah.
iPads and video game systems and all that. I didn't have those distractions. I didn't want those distractions. I wasn't interested in those things. I was interested in just being the best possible athlete I could be, no matter what sport it was.
That's a great answer about, doing multiple sports and being a well-rounded athlete. When was it that you decided, like, this is hockey's full? Like, was it 8th grade, 10th grade? Was it a little younger than that? Like, I'm just going hockey because I'm just that much better at hockey. When did you decide that?
It had to be my junior year.
Yeah.
When I left after my sophomore year, where I was still playing some football and some baseball. And at that point, when I left to go to the U.S. national program and go live with a family for my junior year and senior year, it was, okay, this is now a commitment. This is the next, like, this is the absolute top level you can play at. These are 20 kids at your age, from the entire United States, and they put you through training, and the schedule was just intense, right? It was basically became like almost a pro job at junior in high school. So I didn't have the time or the ability to play another sport, so I had to give it up for that.
And you weren't, I mean, when you say you trained all the time and got to the level you got, I mean, you weren't just one of the best to get to the NHL. You were the number 2 American skater in your draft class, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, it just, when I got to the U.S. program and I got off to a good start, and that year just went really well. The rankings for the upcoming draft for the year or two out just started to happen, and then my next year at the U.S. program, even better, and things just start to fall in place where the colleges are talking to you, and the rankings of where you're going to go, and in the draft, and it just all became realistic. And you start talking to family advisors and all these different things, and again, it was just I was lucky to be at that program. I was lucky to have the coaching I did there, the off ice development, the workouts that they put us through, the training, the boxing, all these different things. It was first class, the best you could get. So it sped up my development. It's being an 18-year-old freshman in college and playing D1, because of that program, the transition wasn't as hard as it could be. Hockey's different, like some other sports in college, where we can have 21-year-old freshmen, and you see that a lot because of junior hockey. So you got 21-year-old freshmen sometimes, and you're this young 18-year-old kid. It can be overwhelming at times, but that program just preps you so much that it was a good transition for me.
And Drew, I don't mean to keep jumping in, but just some of the questions that I was just kind of reading about RJ today, just to refresh my memory on some things. Can you talk? You talked about the draft. Can you talk a little bit about your draft and how things happen? Because it's NHL is not like the NFL. Like if you get drafted in the NFL, that's the team, you're there. But that's not what happened with you.
Yeah, so hockey is a little different than some sports. They use their college program as minor league system basically. And the NHL does have the AHL where players can go play, but in college, you can be drafted in college and not lose your eligibility, and you can stay in college. And teams elect for that to happen. They can, playing against, like I said, older players. You're training with the strength coaches. You're learning how to be a person on your own. All those things, right? It's good development for your growth. So that's what happened. So my draft was after my freshman year at Ohio State, and talking to Vancouver and my Ohio State coaches and my family advisor at the time, felt it was best to go back to school and continue to get stronger and develop and those types of things. So I did that for 2 more seasons, and after my junior year is when I decided it was, we all kind of decided it was time to go. In those 2 years, the amount of strength and the amount of maturity that happened in development was right. It allowed my adjustment to pros again to be, not as part of a transition because I was ready, So, and to go back to one of your earlier questions of what it takes, I've always had that work ethic too off the ice, where like I can drive myself. I don't need other people to push me. I could always set goals, and I can always just drive and go after something and want to reach new heights, right? And off ice was always something that I enjoyed, like training. My cousin Scott, who was a quarterback there at Plum, he took me under his wings when I was probably 14 or so, 15 years old, and I started to train with him. And so I was lucky to have that helped me also before I went to the U.S. program of just starting to put on some size and some muscle, and that mental capacity to just push yourself off the ice and train and go and so I've been lucky to have a lot of people along the way that have assisted me and were there to help.
Now, you mentioned your cousin who was a quarterback in Plum. Do you still have connections in Plum, and do you still consider it home, even though you may not live here?
Yeah, absolutely. Plum will always be home for me. I love it there. I love my childhood. Some of those memories are the best, that I'll ever have. And a lot of my, best friends still, or some of our best friends still, we all keep in touch. We had a nice group that we hung out with, even when I had left school and all those years of college and everything. And we're still all best friends. They've gone different directions, and we stay in touch. So that's something that you're lucky to have and to never lose. I just, the person that I am, I think I just owe a lot to where I grew up. I think my parents, my family, but just the town you lived in. Just a hardworking town. Great place where people are proud to be from there, and I'm proud to be from Plum, and I always will be. So it'll always be home to me. Always be something that I want to be a part of. My sister still lives there with her family. My in-laws are still there. So yeah, definitely still have connections there.
Now, RJ, I know, I'm personally involved with the Plum Mustang Foundation, and I've personally witnessed ways in which you've given back to the Plum community already. And I know a lot of it's under the radar. You don't want that recognition. You don't like that recognition, which I respect and appreciate. But I wanted to personally thank you for all that you do for the community, and kind of want to find out why you feel it's still important to give back to this community so much.
I just think it's like I said before. It's knowing where your roots are, where you're from, and never forgetting that. I think being able to help out, whether it's small or big, in any way, I think is important. And I've tried to. I was raised to think of others as much as possible, and I try to do that. And whether it's different charities and things like that I like to get involved in, or helping people in need, whether it's back home or where I'm at right now, or wherever, friends from the past, teammates in the past who are going through tough times, things like that. I just think it's important. I think, always it's important to lend a hand and help others, and, try to make the place a better place. And, sometimes, you just do what you can do, and you don't ask questions. So I think it's important. I think it's important for all people. And, for me, the recognition is never important. I've never been a person that, it's crazy, like, all of this, like, in the NHL and everything, I never really was comfortable with the spotlight. Just kind of, a blue collar guy just wants to kind of go to work, do his job, and go home afterwards.
Well, I know the people of Plum really appreciate it. I don't know, Mike, did you have any other questions for RJ? Or
I have two questions, and one I think your shirt already answered for me. For those of you that are listening and can't see, his shirt says 66 is greater than 99. But I know you're still a Steelers fan. We talk every once in a while, but are you still a Penguins fan? And do you follow the Penguins, or do you root more for Columbus now? And dare I say Philly?
Yeah, it's hard. When you play for so long, you have an attachment to all those teams and all the players, right? So, I root for Columbus a lot. I'm in this town still, part of the alumni, and, growing alumni here that we're really trying to evolve and make bigger. And again, it's about impacting the community here, and as an alumni group, that's what we're working on right now. So, yeah, I definitely cheer for the Blue Jackets. My son's kind of, raised in this area and growing up a Blue Jacket fan. But, I definitely cherish all my memories of the Penguins for all those years. It's the reason why I played hockey growing up in the early 90s. So spoiled with Lemieux and Yager and all those guys. So I'll never forget that. And probably it's hard for me to root for some of those guys because I played against them. But, I'm so far removed now that it doesn't bother me if the Penguins win or whoever, right? I'm getting back into watching hockey again. It took me a few years. Once you stop playing, it's kind of I don't know. It's a weird feeling where you just kind of need to remove yourself completely. And I'm getting back into watching it, and I enjoy watching Sid. Sid's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How many years he has left, so I'm enjoying doing that.
And then my other question, you kind of started to touch on this, but what does it mean to you or to the community to have played college hockey in Columbus and then come back there to play as a professional? Are you like the first son of Columbus right now?
Yeah, it was definitely an added bonus when I got traded here from Philly back in 2008. I was excited to come back to Columbus and have that connection of all the friends that I went to school with. And I think the kind of neat thing about Ohio State here, especially for the hockey aspect, is a lot of the guys stay in Columbus. So they're raising their kids and staying here. And so that I had that connection of the Ohio State guys where, I had friends away from the rink, when days were going bad at the rink, and, you can lean on some other people and whatnot. So it was an easy transition for me from Philly to here. I was pretty thankful for it. I enjoyed the 6 years I played here at Columbus. Some of this, my personally best years. So my kids were born here in Columbus, and it's just as always felt the right place to stay. And I love being a Buckeye. Mike, that I love every moment I can let you know that. But I love being a Buckeye. So having connection to both programs here in town, it's definitely fun, and I enjoy it for sure.
RJ and I have gotten into a few good debates about Penn State and Ohio State. So
I'm sure. Well, RJ Umberger, everyone. RJ, thank you so much for taking the time to answer our questions and to give back to the Plum community in another way. And we really appreciate all that you're doing for the community, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Thanks for having me.
You can stick around with us for a few minutes?
Yeah.
All right. I want to take another second to thank our sponsors, Tresco Concrete, Continental Comb, and the Jen Mascaro Real Estate Team. Continental Comb Barbershop, a traditional barbershop servicing the area since 1973. Up to date on all the new styles and cuts. Call 412-795-7555 and mention Sour Plums for $5 off any service.
Tresco Concrete, the best concrete products on the market. Ready-mix concrete delivered to your door, guaranteed to get hard or your money back. And as always, their concrete is all natural, no supplements, and always 100% Viagra-free.
The Jen Mascaro team proudly supports the Sour Plums podcast. When it comes to selling your home promptly and at peak value, look no further than the expertise of the Jen Mascaro team. With over a decade of industry experience, we guarantee to guide you seamlessly through the process. For personalized assistance, contact us at 412-607-6318 or email jen.mascaro@cbrealty.com. All right, Mike, I believe it's time for Would You Rather. What do you got for us this week?
All right, would you rather? Would you rather be able to travel everywhere for free? So, any mode of transportation, boat, plane, automobile, whatever it is, or eat everywhere for free?
And just so everyone knows, RJ is stuck around to have a little fun with us, so we're going to get RJ involved in this too. All right, so would you rather travel anywhere for free or eat everywhere for free? Is that the question?
Let's take automobile out of there because I think that's not really traveling. That's just moving. So, boat, plane, anything other than automobile.
For me, I definitely travel for free. I think there's just so many places I want to see and explore and go to, but probably the biggest reason is I love food and I love eating and will not stop eating. So if it's free and it's everywhere, I probably will just gain way too much weight.
That's a good point. And as soon as you came up with this, Mike, I agree with RJ in terms of the answer. My reasoning's maybe a little different, but I would travel anywhere for free because just the cost of traveling, right? I mean, I can go out to dinner for $20, $30, $50, $100, but traveling to go anywhere I want to, you could be talking thousands of dollars, right? For trips. So I'm traveling everywhere. I love to travel, love to see new places, particularly places that are older than America, like European countries. I really love that kind of travel, visiting old castles. So I would do that. And if I had to be sparse on anything, it could be food. I could use a little bit of that anyway in my life.
See, you don't get this girlish figure by not eating. So, I would go with food only because when I think food, I'm thinking grocery store as well. Like that's food. So eat anywhere for free. The amount of money you would save, you free up a ton of money that you could travel, wherever you want to anyway. So I think I'm going to eat for free because, I mean, my grocery bill, I just bought hamburgers and hot dogs yesterday. It was $120. So I think you free up a lot of disposable income by eating everywhere for free. Every day.
I've heard you have like $200 or $300 a month just in Uncrustables in your freezer. So
that's Uncrustables are delicious. They're delicious.
What about you, Alan?
I want to think of it as like you're eating out. You're not just going to the store and grabbing groceries. And for traveling, it would be like a vacation. So you're going away for more than a day. I don't really like to travel. So I would rather stay put, have meals for free, try different food that I would never really try just to risk. I would try everything. I would eat anything and try new things. I think that would be really enjoyable.
That's a good point. That's personal preference, I guess, right? If you don't enjoy traveling, you're not going to do that, right?
No, I'm not getting on a plane or a boat, so I'll just stay put.
See, what's one of the most expensive parts of traveling is eating. So if you pay to travel and you eat for free, and I with what Alan just said, I love trying new things. Like I'll try anything once, except for beets. I don't like beets.
But any reason, Mike? Is it just
beets?
Just a hatred for beets?
Beets?
My mom would get the pickled beets, like the red ones in the can.
Yeah, awful.
The smell of those, like
no.
I'm gonna gag. Just like I wouldn't even clear that off the table when I was a kid. But when we go out to eat, Jess's least favorite thing that I say, like if we go to a nice restaurant, I'll just hit the waiter with, I'll take whatever the chef recommends, which usually gets you something that is not on the menu that they want to get creative with, and then they charge you something that's on the menu for cheaper, and you get a really fantastic meal. It's only backfired not twice, because the one time the food was really good, but I got food poisoning, so it was really bad. But the things that I've had have been fantastic, and that has nothing to do with what we were just talking about. But
How many
but I do
times
like
have you done that? How many times have you said whatever the chef recommends?
more than I could count.
Okay.
Anytime we go to like if we're not going to like a chain restaurant and it's it's going to be $150 bill or more, that's what I order.
I might start doing that at local places. Go down to John Anthony's, whatever the chef recommends.
you get 6 wings.
Not too controversial tonight on the Would You Rather. I feel like that was about as mild as we get. So
Yeah. All right, Drew, is it true that you're introducing a new segment tonight?
I am, Mike. I'm going to alternate between the Grammar Hammer. I know it's a fun segment that everybody loves. At least a few people love it anyway. But this week we're going to try something new. It's called This or That. And I'm going to ask the panel, and I'll give my answer too. Quick hitting things. This or that. It's pretty simple. You pick one or the other. Not a long explanation as to why. Maybe a little bit of a reason why you pick one thing over the other, but not a long conversation on it unless you're really passionate about it. So in honor of the new Sheetz opening about 500 yards from where I live, we're going to have a Sheetz related this or that tonight, if everybody's ready for this. All right.
And we're going to RJ, your fear if you had all the food for free, Drew's going to literally be 500 yards from Sheetz. So that's going to be his reality.
I just had 2 Sheetz open up near me, both sides of me.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
It's the local hangout for all the kids in our area.
Yeah, my son's already talking about how he and his friends are going to walk down the Sheetz every day. I'm like, that's probably a bit much. But we're going to throw this wasn't part of it, but now that RJ's on here in this segment, and I know he spent some time in Philly, we're going to throw a third one in there. So I guess it's this, that, or that. Sheetz, Get Go, or Wawa. What do you say, RJ?
Wawa.
Ooh, I do want to know why. Because nobody else is here is going to pick Wawa.
So they had this certain little smoothie that I would have after all the games at night, and then so they always had really good soups too. I'm a soup guy, so I know Sheetz doesn't have soup.
No,
here they don't. So
that sounds delicious.
Soup. All right, that's a great answer. We're gonna expand our audience size here too, get some Philly love in there. So that's good. Thank you, Alan.
I originally online, I think I said Sheetz, but I really like Get Go's food. Their MTOs, I really like their food. I like Get Go's food more than Sheetz.
Okay, all right, Mike.
I'm gonna go Sheetz. Gecko has a bigger menu, but I think Sheetz has been around forever. I think it's just a nostalgia thing for me.
Yeah, it's Sheetz for me. I haven't been to a Get Go in over a decade. Just there's quite a few of them around us. I just never stop at a Get Go. I'll drive a couple miles up the road and go to Sheetz, and I don't know why it's not good. Like at the end of the day, it's gas station food. It's not good. After I eat it, I know I regret it always, but I keep going back because it's close and it's quick. So
I do think old school Sheetz MTOs are better than today's Sheetz. Like when Sheetz first opened on 286, like when I was first starting to drive in like 96, 97, MTOs hit different than they do today.
I'll agree with that.
Maybe it was younger metabolism.
And maybe that was just the way we were back then. But I do have a question that's related to that. Actually, we're going to go to that right now. Hot or cold MTOs? What's your go-to when you go there? What do you order? And what specific? Anything specifically?
Hot. Usually either a chicken tender sandwich or a cheesesteak.
RJ.
I go hot too. Either a chicken sandwich or some kind of cheesesteak.
Alan.
Listen, I've been known to get a spicy chicken sandwich for breakfast, so I'll go hot.
I'll go hot too. Hot is actually my go-to is a chicken sandwich with hot sauce, banana peppers, pepper jack cheese. When I really hate myself, when I want to hate myself, I get all of those things on a white bun toasted. If I'm feeling like I need to take care of myself, I'll go wheat. But I know that's not doing much for my lifestyle.
That sandwich sounds delicious and like a night in.
It's a night in sandwich. It's a lonely night. It's Drew's home alone for the night kind of sandwich. Yeah. All right, 2 more. A schmisket or a schmuffin, Mike?
So I want to like a schmisket so much, but I just don't. It's a schmuffin all day.
RJ.
Schmuffin. I'm a muffin. I don't like biscuits that much.
Alan, before I answer.
I really don't want to answer this, but I guess schmuffin. I would never order that, but
okay. I would never order a schmisket. Biscuits are too dry. It's the worst bread
It's like
for
drywall.
me. It's too dry. Yeah, way too dry. I would never order that, but somebody's ordering them. They continue to appear on menus everywhere, breakfast menus everywhere. All right, last one. This one's for me is controversial at least. Schneider's iced tea or Gallagher's iced tea?
I'm going Schneider's.
Really?
Are we talking like Schneider's of Berlin, like the chip company?
No, Schneider's. It's almost like I feel like Sheetz did it because of their gimmick, their SCH gimmick. It's Schneider's.
Oh, Schneider's.
I feel like that was their contract expired. They had beef with Gallagher's, and they replaced all of the Western PA stores, Gallagher's, with Schneider's.
I've never heard of Gallagher's iced tea. Like I literally have never heard of it.
Oh, I'll drive to the country to get you some.
I'm
RJ. Go ahead, Alan. You chose Snyder's because you
No, I'm not picking either. I'm not answering these this or that questions anymore. I feel like I have a moral obligation to say Turner's.
I was going to say neither and say Turner's.
That's allowed.
That's right.
That is allowed.
That's right.
That's allowed.
I changed my answer there. That's what I would have said.
Say it. Say it out loud, Mike.
Turner's. I feel very judged by saying Schneider's. Did you hear Drew's response to my reaction to my response? I feel judged.
You guys did. I didn't specify. It's allowed for RJ. It wasn't. You guys had to pick one of the other two.
I've never had either of those two.
No.
Never had them. Okay. All right.
No.
Well, we're gonna have a.
Well, Drew will be out driving to the country this weekend to get some.
I'll drive an hour away to grab one. I promise I will. All right. That's this or that, and we're gonna do this. Every week we'll do a little bit different. It'll be a little more, maybe a little more Sour Plums After Darkish. But I wanted to honor the opening of the news sheet. So
can I throw a surprise one in for just RJ?
What's that?
Can I throw a surprise one in for just RJ?
Absolutely.
Given his time in Philly.
Yeah.
Gino's or Pat's?
Probably Pat's.
Wait, which one's Pat's? The real colorful sign or the other one? I don't know which one's which. I know one's like on a corner and one's like to the side.
Yeah. I don't even remember. I just know we used to get Pats on the airplane all the time.
Nah, nice. I should have been a hockey player. That sounds fantastic.
That's all. Yeah, that could have been your motivation. If you had known that, your career path would have changed, right?
I would have worked a little harder.
All right, Mike. With that, we're wrapping up this and that, and we're going to go to I think the my favorite segment. Still, every week it's my favorite segment. And that's blind ranking. This is where Mike gives us five things to rank blindly without knowing the next one, and it's within some sort of main category. What's the category for this week, Mike?
All right, tonight's category is action heroes, like the actors who play action heroes.
Okay.
So 1 would be the best, 5 would be the worst. I think all 5 of these are pretty good ones. I have a pretty strong opinion on 5, but I'll let you know when we get there. All right, we're going with the probably the best well-known action hero. Number 1, first one is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ooh, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to put Arnold Schwarzenegger at 2. I like him. Still like him. I wasn't going to play it safe and put him at 3 there. I like him. I think you're going to be hard pressed to find more than one better than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm going to go 4. I'm not an Arnold guy.
Disagreement start. I love it.
I'm going to put him at 3.
Wow. This is
all over the place. That's the first.
Yeah. I have my reasons.
All right. Second one, Chuck Norris.
I just wasn't a Chuck Norris fan. Then they memed the hell out of him, and that killed it even more for me. I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go 4. I think there's gonna be somebody that I like less than Chuck Norris.
I'm gonna go 3.
Right in the middle.
I'm putting Chuck at 5. I was never a Chuck Norris fan, even jokingly. Like all the jokes about how Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He like pushes the ground away from him. Like I get it. I get it. But he's 5. Like I feel like he was a meme.
No love for Chuck. I feel like that's gonna be like Mike's number 1.
He has a tattoo of Chuck Norris on his back. I've seen it.
All right, third one, Sylvester Stallone.
Man, I liked his Rambo days, to be honest with you. I did. I'll put him right at 3.
Let me go 2.
I'm gonna put old Sly Stallone at number 1.
Big Sly Stallone fan.
He had a big impact on my life. He really inspired me.
You're going to leave us hanging? Was it the Rambo movies? Was it Rocky? What was it?
It was Rocky 1 through 4. The only Rocky movies I need.
I
feel like that was action.
Joke.
What?
I thought Drew was trying to make a cliffhanger joke, but that was
Oh
good.
yeah, cliffhanger. I mean, he was in Judge Dredd, Demolition Man,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
Rocky movies.
Listen, I
Yeah.
love all those movies. One of my favorite movies of all time, Tango and Cash. Fantastic movie.
Tango Cash.
All right,
Two
fourth
left?
one.
All right.
2 left. Fourth one, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I got 1 and 5 left. That's the danger of this damn game. That's why. Did I say I like this segment? Hate it. I'm gonna.
It's because you're usually wrong.
The people of Plum will let me know immediately after the episode airs. Yeah, I can't go 1. I enjoy. I'll go 5. I don't know. There's something a little bit about The Rock that irritates me. There's just something hokey about him. I think he's gone that route lately, and obviously to make money, which is his prerogative. But I'll go 5. He just doesn't do it for me. I don't hate him though. So for all you Rock lovers out there, do not send me hate mail. I don't hate him. It's just I'm stuck at 5.
I'm in the same boat. I'm gonna go 5 too.
This is a Stone Cold Steve Austin household. So The Rock's at number 4.
All right, and last one, Bruce Willis.
All right. Oh yeah, I can do Bruce Willis at 1. That's what I got left, right? I can
Yep.
do that. I'd probably. I'm good with that. Bruce Willis had a run there for a while, and even when he was out of the action movies, he was still, I thought, entertaining. I know he's not doing well health wise right now, but yeah, I'll take Bruce Willis at 1 all day long. Die Hard, I'll absolutely not a Christmas movie, but yeah.
Oh, let's not go there.
Yeah, I gotta go 1 also. It's my spot left.
How do you feel about it though?
I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'd rather have Sly there at 1 instead.
Yeah. What do you got left, Alan?
Number 2. I would have put him there, I think.
You like him?
Yeah. I love Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah.
I watch it every time it's on. I love it. I'm telling my kids about it like it's like lore. I'm telling them like it happened. I'm like, watch. They're into it. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
I mean, nothing beats Moonlighting, though. Remember that show?
No, I'm only 40.
Crickets.
So I don't remember
Crickets.
that show, Mike.
I don't think I ever watched it. I just remember like a commercial for it. My mom used to.
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
commercial. That big of an impact on you, a commercial in passing.
So all right, here's mine. Obviously, I know who are the 5 were. So I have Sly Stallone at 1. The Rocky movies, I love them. Like I said, Tango and Cash, Rambo, he was fantastic. Arnold Schwarzenegger, number 2. One of my favorite movies of all time is Terminator. Number 3, I have Bruce Willis there. Yippee-ki-yay, that's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I will fight you on that. We can debate that in another show.
Yeah.
4 is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I have him at 4 and not 5 because I don't think the new school action movies are like the old school ones were. So I think it's hard for a new age person to get into that top 3. But Chuck Norris, the jokes, the memes, I find hilarious. I love them all. I don't think his movies were that good. So I wasn't a big fan of him, the actor. If we were ranking memes, number 1 all day.
Oh, you love his memes though.
Yeah, they're good.
All right. Yeah, his movies were just. I mean, and it's an era. It's a time period. They were just really hokey to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I grew up in the country though. Everybody like idolized Chuck Norris. Like Chuck Norris was just a hero where I grew up.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, I watched that every week it was on. My grandfather made me watch it. It never missed an episode. Oh, never missed an episode. Not good. But
I watched Conan O'Brien a lot growing up, and I was introduced to Chuck Norris because when NBC bought the rights to whatever station that was on, Conan could play clips on his show. So he would pull this lever and play like a random 5-6 second clip with no context out of Walker, Texas Ranger. It'd be like people going off cliffs in wheelchairs and like really weird, like, you know, someone hits somebody with a paddle and they're like standing right next to it. It was always something like just crazy and just always funny.
if you ever see it on now, do yourself a favor, watch 1 episode just so you can laugh. All right, that's it, right? That's the rankings.
That's the rankings.
I felt I felt okay about how that went tonight. I'm sure I'll hear about it online, but no, I think that was good. Do we have any Mike, do we have any voicemails this week?
We have 4 voicemails this week.
4.
Yeah, 4. 4.
Wow.
All right, here's the first one.
I would like to have a petition thrown out there to get David Biondo back into Plum Community. Plum Community Facebook page. He's been gone for way too long, and his humor has been lost. All right, thanks.
So RJ, if you don't know, we have a Plum Community page. I don't know if you're on that Facebook page or not. Dave Biondo made the same joke one too many times and he got kicked out, banned for life. I was also banned for life for the same joke, but they couldn't do without me. Apparently, they let me back in.
Until somebody hears that.
Till somebody hears that. Free Dave, get him back. I don't know what else to say.
RJ, you were right earlier. Plum is a great community, but it's also a petty community when it wants to be.
He was just trying to help people out.
It basically took the same joke too far, kind of like the Chuck Norris memes.
Exactly.
We have a page like that here in my local town, and I've seen some of the same things. Some of them, I'm not active on. I just watch the comments, and sometimes you just can sit back for a good old hour and get lost in it, back and forth with people reading them, and it's unbelievable.
Sometimes that's a good Saturday night. That and a couple beers.
Yeah. Especially when you know all the people that are getting into it, and you stay out.
This next one's a pretty good one. I think this is a longer conversation on another show, but we can touch on this one.
Hey, this is MC. I'm interested to hear what you think. What do you think is more ruthless? Local politics like school board and council, or youth sports behind the doors politics? I'm kind of leaning towards youth sports, but I would like to hear what you guys have to say. Big fan. Have fun.
That's a really good segment to have on the show.
Yeah, that's an hour in itself.
What do you think, RJ? First thought.
Youth sports is brutal.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 10, 13, and almost 15.
So you're right in the thick of it right now.
I had to think about that. Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm knee deep into youth sports with hockey, right? Like that's what I do all the time, and it's interesting.
Your son's the 10-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree 100%. Youth sports is ruthless. I mean, clearly everybody thinks their kid is the top one. They are going Division I. They are going pro. Scholarships going to be handed out down at the PBSA fields, every day. And God help the people who volunteer their time to coach, because you don't know what you're talking about. You get shit on day in and day out, and all you're trying to do is volunteer your time. And I've been in both, and I'll take politics every day of the week.
I'll save most of mine for. I think this is like an episode, like serious segment worthy. That was a great call, MC. But it's certainly youth sports, and then from all angles too. It's not only coaches and putting kids on teams that are they're friends with their kids, things like that, but also parents just all losing their mind thinking their kid's the best all the time. And then the other angle of it is parents like making it impossible for people to want to coach, for people to even want to referee. You're not gonna have anybody to referee your games if parents act the way they do for much longer. These guys don't get paid enough to take abuse for 60 minutes because of the calls they make or don't make. So yeah, it's youth sports, but I'll save my passion speech for another episode.
Big
Thoughts,
cat.
Alan? Big cat. Sorry.
I have some thoughts, but I'll save that for another episode.
All right, next one.
What's up, Sour Plums? Long-time listener, first-time caller. Justin Newman here, a.k.a. Vice President of the Plum Mustang Foundation, a.k.a. Voice of the Plum Mustang Athletics, a.k.a. Director of Youth Basketball at the YMCA. But enough of my Plum credentials. Shout out Big Cat, producer extraordinaire, not Mario Devine, Mama Devine's third favorite son, number 11 on her overall list, and Andy Bartow, the man that takes 3 minutes to granny turn 3 times to get out of a parking space. Andy, this one's for you. Andy, as a lover of all things music, I think you guys should do a blind ranking of rock bands. I think it would spark great debate and conversation. Let me know what you think. Peace out, Sour Plums.
All right, so did you hear the end of that?
Yeah,
He wants us to do a blind ranking on rock bands. I think that's an excellent one. I have we did the Super Bowl halftime shows once, but which sparked a big debate on different music. That's coming. I'm not going to tell you when, but it is coming. Just so you know, he called me not Mario. Did you catch that? He called you Andy.
Oh, I caught that a few times. Yeah, that's Newman. That's not going to happen. That's not going to stick. That is not going to stick.
But he called me not Mario because I don't know who, but somebody on an Android phone put me in there must be one of my brother's friends, put me in their phone as not Mario Divine. And somehow Androids share their contacts without actually sharing them. So he's like the fourth person that told me my phone just popped up as not Mario. So every time I call him, he goes, "What's up, not Mario?" All right. And the last one. Do we have an episode without Jimmy McBride?
We have so far.
Not anymore.
Depot Plum. It's me, Jim McBride. Just leaving the grand opening of the Sheetz, brand new one. Pretty excited. The video will be coming out soon for everybody. Next, our Christmas lights are still not up. They have not been up. That was a hurtful attack by Steve. We'll get over it. We'll have beers to joke about it. But that was a lie. Next, what's everybody's favorite Sheetz thing to get? Are you excited for them to bring back tater tots? I'm excited for it. All right, talk to you guys. Bye.
I just want to go on record. His lights were up the day before we recorded the last episode. He took them down that day.
They were up.
It was finally nice out. So.
They were up because I passed them, and my son pointed out that they were up, and it's almost June or middle of the year. So yeah, they were definitely up. And I think we already discussed the Sheetz thing, but there it is, 6 for 6. Jimmy McBride's been on our episodes the entire series so far. So congratulations, Jimmy. All right, Mike. Before we close out the show, do you have any shout outs?
I do have a couple. I didn't actually know Ameli's closed down for a little while, but they are reopening. I think today or tomorrow.
I hadn't heard that either.
Yeah, I didn't know they shut down, but they're under new ownership or new leadership, which is awesome because I think they have the best wings in Plum. They're my favorite wings. Each pizza place here in Plum has I have like something different from each one, but it's the wings. So excited for them to reopen. And then the next one. So actually we can announce our next guest with this shout out. I just got a text while we were recording. She's going to join us on the next show. Riley Stevens, a sophomore basketball player and obviously a sophomore softball player. She just threw her third no-hitter yesterday.
Wow.
As a sophomore. She is a fantastic athlete, and she will be our first female guest, and she'll be on the next episode. And I asked her, I was talking to her dad earlier today. I asked him where she is points-wise for basketball. He didn't know the exact number. He said somewhere between 300 and 400. Looking at the girls' schedule this year, I think she has to average about 16 points per game for the next 2 years, which I think she's already averaging somewhere around 20. She's a phenomenal basketball player. Could be the next 1,000-point player we have. Megan just did it this year, and I think she might be the next one.
Wow, congratulations, Riley, on not only the basketball, but obviously the 3 no-hitters. And by the time we talk to her for the next episode, she might have another couple under her belt.
Yeah. Lastly, wanted to do this last show, and I forgot. I didn't get a chance to go this year, but I heard awesome reviews on the Plum High School musical, which was Bye Bye Birdie this year. As always, top-notch performance from everybody I've talked to. So good job to those guys.
Yeah, I didn't have a specific shout out, but I wanted to thank RJ again for not only the amazing interview with us, but also sticking around and having some fun with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
And thank you for listening to Sour Plums. Like this episode and subscribe to our channel on SoundCloud, Spotify, or YouTube, and share if you care. I'm Drew Bartow.
I'm Mike Devine.
And we're out.